Hello there, you're watching on television. This is State of Business. I am Pomulda Katukampala. Here are our top stories. President Wickremesinghe spearheads the Climate Justice Forum in Dubai. Government plans a scholarship program for advanced level students. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. Now let's have a detailed look at today's stories. President Ranil Wickremesinghe presented the Climate Justice Forum, emphasizing the critical importance of addressing climate issues with a sense of justice and equity. He was joined by the former President of the Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed, the Minister of Health of Uganda, Dr. Jane Ruth, and the Executive Director of the UNEP, Inga Anderson. President Wickremesinghe made this announcement at COP28 in Dubai, UAE, during the weekend. President Wickremesinghe conveyed that the resolution of the Climate Justice Forum will be formally presented at the United Nations. The President described the CJF as an initial step to secure unwavering commitment from all parties involved in the collective effort. President Wickremesinghe underscored that the scope of contribution extends beyond the capabilities of countries alone, emphasizing the significant role private entities can play. The President also drew attention to the allocation of funds, noting that more finances are allocated for wars compared to what has been allocated for the Loss and Damages Fund. The President extended invitations to other concerned nations to join this initiative, presenting it as a viable solution to the increased threat of climate change. The President also formally requested the cooperation of esteemed organizations such as UNEP, UNDP, and the EU to engage in advancing the initiatives presented by Sri Lanka. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed the commencement of a scholarship program through the President's Fund for students currently pursuing their GCE advanced level studies. The President's Media Division officially made this announcement, releasing a statement recently. The PMD announced that a meticulous plan has been devised to select 50 students from each of the 100 educational zones spanning the entirety of the island. The statement revealed that this initiative aims to furnish scholarships amounting to 6,000 rupees per month for a total of 5,000 deserving students. It said that eligibility criteria for applying for the scholarship includes being a first-time participant in the examination, passing the examination, and qualifying for advanced level studies. The PMD stated that the applicant must be a student enrolled in a government school or a non-fee levying private school. The statement also revealed that the basic eligibility criteria for application include a monthly family income not exceeding 100,000 rupees. The PMD directed that applicants should submit their applications to the principal of the school where they undertook the GCE O-level examination. Meanwhile, Minister of Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reform Vijayadasa Rajapaksa unveiled plans to introduce a new legislative framework aimed at regulating microfinance institutions in the country. He underscored the intention to establish an independent regulatory institution distinct from the central bank dedicated to the oversight and effective regulation of microfinance entities. Minister Rajapaksa made these remarks during a press briefing at the President's Media Centre yesterday. The minister stated that globally recognized expedited methods for resolving criminal cases stand in contrast to our nation's outdated legal framework. The minister said that this delay in criminal proceedings represents a substantial issue, jeopardizing the administration of justice and leaving all parties involved with timely recourse. He added that a draft law aimed at expediting the resolution of criminal cases is currently under development and is slated for submission to Parliament in January. The minister said that there is a pressing need to establish a dedicated regulatory board separate from the central bank to oversee and govern microfinance institutions. He said efforts are underway to introduce comprehensive laws aimed at regulating these entities and mitigating the potential adverse effects they pose to the country's economic stability. He underscored that the goal is to instate a regulatory framework that ensures responsible and accountable practices within the microfinance sector. Stay tuned for more stories after this short commercial break. Welcome back, you're with State of Business. Now, State Minister for Health Sita Arambipola stated that a key focus of the 2024 budget proposal is the introduction of special guidelines for the procurement of medicines and the establishment of a dedicated agency. The minister said this at a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre recently. Sita Arambipola emphasized the need for changes in human resources within the Ministry of Health and adjustments to rules and regulations to address challenges in the health sector. The State Minister commented that the government is concentrating on providing quality medicines to patients, particularly for the hospital system and clinical work in the country. She said that the government aims to overcome setbacks and successfully execute these projects in the coming year with financial contributions from local and international sources. The State Minister added that the Ministry of Health is undergoing significant structural adjustments. She said that efforts are underway to increase the production of medicines domestically, ensuring their availability in the market to meet the country's healthcare needs. The State Minister said that the Ministry of Health collaborates with the World Health Organization to align with global health priorities. She went on to say that despite increasing dengue spread, collaborative efforts from health teams have successfully reduced the death rate compared to the previous year. Now, the Centre for Poverty Analysis is set to host an insightful symposium titled Retrospect and Prospects on the Poverty Alleviation in an Era of Economic Crisis. The event, organised by the Centre for Poverty Analysis, was held on the 29th and 30th of last month. The CPA said that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the ensuing economic crisis led to a substantial increase in poverty up to 26%. CPA also recognized the importance of understanding policies and processes that contributed to poverty reduction and identifying what caused the reversal of these gains. They said that this understanding is a crucial first step in formulating an effective strategy to tackle poverty in the future.
English language is an asset in this country. So not knowing English or a lack of competency in the language blocks entrance into so many things, and one of it would be the job of their preference. So it's unfortunate, and we've been teaching compulsory English for so many decades now in our government schools and the other schools as well. But we are still talking about this as an issue that blocks entrance into the employment market. The private sector still wants people who are very competent in the language. Even the ones who are able to secure a job in the government sector without a lot of fluency in English, their career progression is also again inhibited by not knowing language, not knowing English, because most of the up-to-date knowledge and information is available in English, and they are not able to access that.
Speaking at the event, former governor of the central bank, Indrajit Kumarasamy, said that the populist politics and entrenched entitlement culture amongst the people have fed off each other, creating a non-virtuous cycle which resulted in the economic crisis.
You Sudanese have eaten the fruit before you planted the tree. And that really is what we did. And we have continued to do, really, until we've been given a very rude shock over the last 18 months or so. Why was our fiscal outcomes so difficult to manage? Because I think all of us are to blame. We blame the politicians, and I think they deserve to be blamed, fair amount. But all of us are also party to it, because we've had one, populist politics, and two, an entrenched entitlement culture amongst the people. And the two have fed off each other. It's been a non-virtuous cycle which has basically pulled us down and led to the regression that we've experienced over the last 75 years. I mean, this has been going on really almost from the beginning. And the budgetary operations, the unsustainable budgetary operations, were compounded by fiscal dominance in monetary policy. And there were two channels through which this fiscal dominance was exercised. One is the central bank's direct financing of the budget deficit, the deficit financing, or money printing in common parlance, which has been happening over and over again. And also, the technical term is financial repression, whereby the central bank has artificially kept interest rates down to serve the interests of the government of the day.
Stay tuned for the stock update. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. Now the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The OSHA price index dropped 43.50 points to close at 10,700.09 and the S&P still 20 dropped 8.77 points to close at 3,058.96. The turnover was 0.7 billion rupees and over 31 million shares were traded. Coming up next are Forex rates. Well, that's it for tonight. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Take care and good night.